Hey everybody, welcome back to a new episode of the Gravity Well Show. I'm just experimenting with getting both Gravity Well map fields going for each planet at the same time. It's quite an interesting process. Let's see what I can do right now. It's a little bit difficult because I need to use two hands in order to control both planets at the same time. But it is kind of neat, so now I can like zoom in. No, so what I was doing recently was looking at how the different ridges and planets look very similar in cases. So let's take a look, and I can actually control both at the same time. So here, where should we begin? Alright, let's look at this general shape in North America, how the coast goes up like this, and it like goes off and then wraps up and around. So you take a look at Mars in the similar location, and you have that same ridge up at the top, going in around, starting down and in. Well, it's a bit difficult to do with both hands. And you'll notice this giant ridge. On Earth, you have to zoom in a bit to see it. It's a ridge that goes to the equator across. And you'll see on Mars, they have the ridge that goes across to the equator, except it's shifted. So we've talked about it on Earth before, how sometimes the plate seems to shift. So it seems like whenever Mars shifted, it shifted that much since. If it's really true that the equator is supposed to line up like it is on Earth, the Galapagos Islands. So I think that part is quite interesting. Let me see one thing here. There we go. Now we got it working. Now I also have the option to check out chat messages, and I'll do it periodically throughout the show. Let me check one now. It's just from me. Alright, and we'll check how Facebook is doing. That seems to be doing okay. One share already. That's pretty good. It says we're running at 39 frames per second. Not too bad. Let's see if I'm able to chat. Here we are. Alright, so right now I'm just going to ask if there's any locations anyone wants to see on the map. Or data fields. No, like we can also check the weather. Alright, so I'll get back to moving the maps for now. Alright, so far so good. The dual stream on Facebook and YouTube is successful. That's good. Really wasn't sure if it was going to be, so it's nice to know. There we go. Alright, I noticed some of the other things that people have been interested in lately is checking out the weather fields around Texas, so we'll check that out next. And I think for Texas we can just go to one screen. Let's try it. Yeah, it's not too bad. Alright, if anyone wants to see any dual comparison images of Mars again, just let me know. Alright, next what we'll do is we'll bring up the weather. Oh, we already have the weather on. Ooh, we got a line cloud lining up. No, it's rare that North America line clouds actually occur with the gravity well fields. Let's see what other layers I have. That's odd, I don't have all the layers. Okay, well that's unfortunate. I'll have to get the other map up that has the other layers. Well, we'll work with this, what we got for today. Just the yellow layer. Surprised, I thought I added the blue and red, but not yet. Yeah, so I'm looking for any sort of anomalies with the cloud patterns. See if any line clouds are lining up. Quite a few. Alright, usually Asia is quite an interesting region. I've noticed recently the whole globe does seem to have more cloud cover. Denser cloud cover. Not sure why that is. If it's winter that causes it or something. I don't even recall other winter storms being this dense though. Yeah, some definite swing movement through the poles here, or wells. So anyways, yeah, there does seem like some pretty active movement. Let's check out the European wells. Bit of cloud formation spinning around that one. Alright, so let's check out Texas and see what we got for storms. If there is any evidence of strange, unusual activity. Now, from what I can tell, it looks like, where's Texas again? Ah, here it is, Dallas. Now, one day I want to go to a really good chiropractor, and the favorite chiropractor I've ever seen is in Houston. So that's where I'd like to visit one day, if the lockdowns ever end. Now, I've been to some really good ones in Toronto too, but I like to try a whole bunch and see which I like to compare best. Because usually each chiropractor has something they're really good at. Not that I'm offering medical advice. Just my opinions. Alright, so, look for anything interesting around Texas. Yeah, I'm surprised they got hit by snow so bad. That's a really southern region. It's like, what next? Florida getting covered in snow? Maybe it has something to do with this line cloud. There was quite a lot of energy going around this line. Feeding it along the line. But where the hell did the cold weather come from? Right, I'll have to put on some different databases. See if we got anything for temperature. See if I can find one. Right, so I'll put live temperature. I want to see archives. Alright, I can't find anything that'll show that. That's pretty annoying. Alright, so they won't show global live temperature. I wonder why, eh? It's like of all the things to have on Google Earth, you think the fucking weather would be, or the temperature would be a good file. Maybe there is one, I just didn't find it. So anyways, let's check the water temperature. I found that one before. I think here it is. World and regional sea surface temperature KMZ file. See if that's the one I need. Does not want to open. Oh, it just downloaded it. Alright, so let's import it and see what we got. We'll turn off the clouds for now. Holy shit. Is this a wild comparison or what? Okay. So we should be able to check the water temperatures around Texas, looking for any anomalies of cold water. Maybe it's a little bit cold near the edge, huh? What the fuck? Yeah, all the water right near me right now is fucking freezing cold, right? This is where I am, near Kitchener. My house is right here. Oh, Kingston, right on the line. Oh, a bit of a heat anomaly there. Is that a nuclear plant? Alright, I think what I'm going to do is try to export some of my files on this computer. See if I can do it. And we'll check it out in a second. Alright, so what I need to do is, here it is. Whatever files that I want to ship over to this computer, I just need to copy and send over. So let's add the blue lines. Oh, it looks like I have them all here already. Alright, sweet. So how do I get this folder? I know. What I'll do is I'll email it to myself because I don't have the network working properly. I tried a few times setting it up, but it didn't want to work. And it shouldn't take me too long. Usually, unless I can't find where I saved this file, that might be a problem. Okay, looks like I have a whole bunch of things to send. Interesting. Oh, even the Huygens map. That's good. So we'll be able to compare that one on Mars as well. Alright, so now that I've sent it to me, then I can open the email on my other computer and we'll be all set. Files for the show. Alright, I'll pick inbox or pick the sent folder and see if I sent it. Alright, looks good to go. Let's check it on my other computer. Here, I'll zoom out in case anyone wants to see the map a little bigger. Alright, let's get these files. Okay, looks like they're all extracted and ready to go. That's good. So, that means I can just import them now. Let's hope so. Alright, first we'll bring in the blue layer of lines. Or maybe we'll just bring them all in. See if that works. Sweet. Alright, that worked. Boy, isn't this a big mess of lines? Alright, so some things I'm going to have to start deleting. I don't want this sightseeing tour. Get rid of it. I'll have to put everything into my places. Then I'll organize the location. Now, there's quite a bit of work to do here today. If anyone's got any questions, just mention them in the chat. I'll check the questions in a minute. Yeah, it'll be nice to have all my files back on both versions of Google. It's kind of annoying to be missing them. Alright, okay. So they're all transferred over from the temporary files. As people can see, I've been trying to update the circle locations on the map. I think I redid them on 1 or 2 locations. But let's turn the circles off for now. It's too confusing. Alright, let's check out the weather with the extra stuff, because I was missing the other stuff before. Oh yeah, let's check the chat too. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Nope, not missing any there. Nope, not any there. Alright, so thanks everyone for watching. Got a few views. No one in the chat yet. Don't be shy, anyone. If you got stuff you want to see in the chat, just mention it. Okay, so I think everything is working audio-wise. Alright, one thing I haven't checked recently is the earthquakes, but I do not see it on here. But what we can do is now we can check out the Huygens map on Mars. So let's check that out. I'm kind of interested to see what it looks like. I haven't seen it yet. Alright, so since we got Mars open on the other one, yeah, let's close this and do the Huygens on both. Or Huygens, not Huygens, sorry. Alright, the Huygens map I kind of like. Let's see if he's got it organized by color. Oh yeah, he does got base layers and stuff. Wow. Yeah, I like the organization for his. So geometrically accurate. Now, I tried to get mine geometrically accurate with Google Earth, and it would never add up properly. For some reason, there's always points where it wouldn't equal correct. I can never figure out why. It's like you divide a place or a circle evenly in half, should mathematically work out, but in a lot of cases it didn't. Anyways, so we got it on Mars or on Earth here. Let's go check out both. Next, what I'll do is I'll open the Huygens map on Mars and see how it looks. If I can. Let's see. Why is it not in my places? Interesting. Alright, I'll try to open it. It's weird. Alright, so what I'll do is I'll get it working on this computer. No, I don't have to get it working. I have the file here. Alright, so let's open it. Alright, lost the mouse. There it is. Let's try to find it. Oh man, it's so annoying. I don't have the file on this computer. It's not possible. This is the one it came from. God, so annoying. Ah, here it is. Finally found it. Alright, so now we got the Huygens map on Mars and Earth, so we can see how it compares on both. Always kind of interested to see how that would work. Alright, so we'll put the equator up where it normally is on Earth. See, I like the Huygens map because it does line up nicely with the equator also, right? It's got one of those beams going that way and that way. It's very well done. Alright, so let's check how it lines up on Mars. Ooh, interesting. Some pretty neat alignments. Yeah, his seems to outline the shape of the continent pretty well too. See what kind of alignment. It's got some pretty neat ones there. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. It almost lined up directly with that one. Oh yeah, I wanted to see this region. Interesting. Look at that, eh? Hits there, hits there, hits there. Wow, that's pretty cool. No, I like the Hagen's map. I wish I seen it earlier when I was starting to make mine, because it has some good ideas for it. I like the way they sorted everything by shapes. Although my shapes were always changing so much, so I never decided to sort it by that yet. Alright, well, that's pretty wild. But I think I'm going to switch back to my maps. Check out the full colored versions. Alright, so we'll go with the first yellow layer. And we'll add in the blue, because I haven't had the blue on this one yet. I love how the blue outlines South America. That's one of my favorites. Alright, so let's bring back blue and yellow on this one. So this gives us more of an idea of where South America would be on Mars if we had it here, right? So normally if Mars and Earth were the same planet, you would see that South America would be divided there, right? But it's kind of interesting. If you look at South America on the Earth itself, you can see that there is sort of like a shelf where if the planet didn't have this crushed mark in it, it would have extended to there, right? So here we got, yeah, so it extended up. And it's neat how there's a giant indent going towards the equator. You see the same thing on Earth, a giant indent going towards the equator. It is very much lined up, right? Like right here is where all the tropical islands would have been on Mars. Like right here is where on Earth. Right, it's from the blue line out. Ah, there it is. It's interesting, I don't have this one all lined up. What the fuck? Why is that? I must have an updated blue file, and this one has the old one. That's kind of annoying. Alright, so I got the old blue field somehow. But anyways, this is where, that point would have been. God, so I did a really nice job updating the blue field on this one. Almost pinpoint accuracy. Alright, so that's annoying. I gotta fucking update the blue field here. Why is it the wrong field? God, that's annoying. Alright, well, I'll just try to fix that next time. Yeah, it's one part when you get two computers going at the same time, it gets confusing, because then you have duplicates of the same file, and some have been updated, some haven't. Oh yeah, this one's way cleaner. Alright, I know how I'll fix this problem. Whoops, wrong keyboard. Alright, so I'm going to make a new copy of it, and I'll email it to myself again. And hopefully we can get this resolved. Oh yeah, I was getting it from the wrong folder. There we go. Alright, so I'll send that file and then we'll be all set. Now I just gotta download it and open it on this one and we'll be all ready to go. Download all. Come on, you piece of fuck shit. Okay, there we go. Where did I download it? Ah, there it is. Right, so I'm just making an updated folder, saving the files to it, extracting them. And now Google will be ready to open the new files. That's good. So I'll open some temporary files. Ooh, I got the volcanoes in here. That should be sweet. Alright, so what I can do is delete the old blue file because it's garbage. I can tell right away that it's way off. So if I delete it, why is it not on? Why is it not deleting it? There we go. There should be one called blue updated. Why is there not a file called blue updated 2.4? It's not in there. What the fuck? God damn it, man. That's really fucking annoying. I just sent the file called that and it's not in there. But anyways, this file's working anyways, but that really pisses me off. I specifically titled the folder that so I wouldn't lose it, and it's not in here. You fucking piece of shit. God, I love technology, man. If there's a way to break it, I'll find it. Trust me. Alright, so anyways, nice to get the new clean blue updated file on here. The yellow file is very mathematically accurate because I based it off the actual measurements on the poles. They give you the actual measurements, and then you can measure them on the equator also. So they're mathematically accurate. Where the blue one, I just tried to map it in so it fits. It's almost mathematically accurate, but it won't fit everywhere for some reason. Even though it should, because it's mathematical. That should be lining up there. I don't know why it isn't. Anyways. Alright, so now we got both files more accurate. Makes comparing the two a bit easier when you have the fucking same file. Alright, so I guess I'll have to wrap up the stream pretty soon. I tested it, made sure everything was working for it, and I think it did. As far as I can tell, I'm not getting too bad of lag. No major errors. So it's pretty sweet. It's like a near miracle for my shows. Now I was thinking I gotta try to find the Amazon location and see if there's a river near it in Mars. Alright, so there's the Amazon there, Amazon here. So if this was correct for Mars, you'd have some sort of river going this way. They called it the Ganges Chasm. So there is a huge depression here. But it doesn't make it all the way up to the water field or well field like it does on Earth. But it does match the general direction that you would have the Amazon on Earth. So that's kind of interesting. So here on Mars is a big depression. Now it's interesting, this is the spot that Perry Reese has on his map too. That's the one orb that me and his have very similar. It's that one right there. I'm actually looking over because I got the Perry Reese map on my wall. Right, what I was kind of interested to see is what does the Atlantis spot look like on Mars? Oh, here it is. It's marked here. So this is the main concentration of ancient, heavily cratered no-see-in terrain lines. That's kind of interesting. It's ancient. So we'll check it out on Earth if you wanted to see it. Just north of the Bouvet Islands. So it's interesting that on Mars, the South Pole was actually like a giant fucking continent. It wasn't just a small continent. Well, Earth is a giant continent too for the South Pole, but not that big. But it's neat. Whatever this giant depression is over off to the side on Earth or on Mars, it is where you find a giant ocean body on Earth. Yeah, so right here there would be a giant depression. Which is basically the middle of the Pacific? Or Indian? Is that the Indian? Oh, yeah, it must be the Indian. Yeah, so that other spot here on Mars would be over here on Earth. Another large depression. Okay, so when it comes to this side of the planet, that's where they start to get the... Oh, so there's the edge line there. You can even see it. This edge line here matches the edge line of where Mars had land. So this is where the continent of Super Mars would have ended on Earth. Yeah, you can even make out the outline. That's pretty trippy. So now we know why this ridge here is here, because it matches the ridge spot on Mars. Wild. Yeah, isn't that trippy, eh? Yeah, so I can hardly wait to see once we get earthquake data back from Mars, so I can start comparing the Mars earthquake data to Earth. That'll be sweet. Yeah, so very interesting. So if you panned over between the two blue ones, just looking at what Australia would be like. Where is it? The two blue ones. There we are. So if Australia and Mars had its equivalent, it would be here, right? This would be the Devil's Triangle or whatever. Quite interesting. So I'm pretty sure if we took animals and put biodomes on the Mars surface, and you put them near these two spots, there, like they are on Australia, you would get marsupials. Like even if you put like a deer or something in there and it came back in like hundreds of years, the biodomes would all of a sudden have marsupials like kangaroos. I'm pretty sure this is the gravity well field on Mars that creates marsupials. It's a pretty bold prediction, but I don't know. For how well these gravity well fields seem to be mappable on the Earth, if you applied the same ones to another planet. Could be way off, and if you put animals here, they would never change into marsupials, but I'd be surprised if that's what occurred. And I also know where the gold would be on Mars here too. Because I know where the gold veins are on the Earth using these maps. I don't know about oil. Yeah, I guess to a certain extent oil too. So I would know where all the oil was on Mars. Oh yeah, you see this coastline, where is it? Yeah, how this one is right on the coast of the Mars continent. If you check its equivalent here, it's right on the coast of Australia. So there is a little bit that is matching the geography. It's pretty well. Yeah, so there's that giant depression spot that's normally on Mars. Oh, so this Indian or this ocean spot actually matches up on Mars too, right? Hmm. So Indonesia, its equivalent on Mars would be here. I think that's right. Does that look right? Yeah. So this continent here would be the continent of Indonesia on Mars. Oh, so here we can see the opposite of India. Sorry it's upside down, but I like looking at it this way. So we can see these lines here mapping the edge of India. So the yellow one mapped. So yellow and blue. Yellow, blue. Yellow, blue. But it is interesting, so that would make this the India of Mars. And it's strange that it's upside down, right? Like, not just the map being upside down, but normally India, if you go this direction, there's less land. But on this map, if you're on India and you go the opposite direction, see, these would be the Himalayas instead of these. So it's like opposite, it's flipped. Yeah, so really, it's pretty wild. I wonder why that happened. Maybe if you crush the planets together. Oh yeah, that's what it is. If you took the South Pole and you crushed it this way, you can see where it slid. Like squish the Earth together, make it smaller. Then it would crush together and form like a circle around, just like this one does on Mars. I see it now. Alright. Very, very interesting. Now, I was always looking forward to doing these comparisons of Mars and Earth. Once I realized they had very similar gravity well fields. Takes a bit of computer power to do this, but man, is it worth it. Alright, so this would be the Africa of Mars. Interesting. You can see how the major gravity well field pushed all the land away and made the coast off to the side of it. Did that here on Earth too. Pushed all the coast of the land away. So whatever animals that you normally find in Africa around this well, this is what, the Congo well? Yeah, that's the Congo African well. So this region here, I'm pretty sure whatever animals you find in the Congo, if you put biodomes and they lived here, holy fuck, the well almost matched up with that giant crater. Maybe it shifted after a while, eh? That's I always wonder, when it's so close to matching like that, is if it shifted. But I shouldn't be saying that, because you could just say that for everything then. So anyways, there's probably a major river formation that was here on Mars. It matches the similar shape of the Congo, similar direction. Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, so that makes me want to look where Europe would be. So let's move Europe a bit down into view. So let's check out where the Mediterranean and Europe would be. Alright, so the Europe well would be here. So this would make all of this Europe on Mars. And this giant depression, or these wells are giant like meteor impact zone here, kind of matches the Mediterranean placement. Maybe let's move that up. So we got the 3 points across the top there. Move that up, so we got the 3 points across the top. Oh, so this is the Mediterranean basin. You can even see how it matches. This is the Mediterranean basin on Mars. This is the Mediterranean basin on Earth. Ah, so that's why it's that shape. You can even sort of see, like, I don't want to say what that looks like, but yeah, you can even see this is where the Strait of Gibraltar would be on Mars. Or wait, no, it would be up here. Yeah, so the Strait of Gibraltar would have been in there, into the Mediterranean basin. Caspian Seas or the Black Sea. Oh yeah, there's the outline of the sea there. See it there? How it matches. I know this is probably a lot of just coincidences, but I don't know, man. I like to look at it nonetheless. I don't really care if anyone else does. Alright, so anyways, let's see here. Yeah, so this is the landmass that separates the two seas. See how there's a landmass from blue to blue? The landmass from blue to blue that separates the two seas. So we can see gravity wells do have like a way of forming planets in very similar patterns. Oh, you can see this one here. Oh, so this would have been like this line here shows where the Gulf would have been. So you would have had like a giant Gulf on Mexico, or draining. So there's probably a waterway going across there. Yeah, because yellow's the higher, green slightly lower, and then blue's like really deep. So this whole region here would have been like rivers going through that way. Yeah. Pretty wild. Alright, so what other parts of Europe did I want to look at? I guess that's everything, right? You can see that the well on Mars, it managed to push the land of Europe away farther and harder. Seems like ours is more crammed up against it, and it's starting to break it up again. See, it's sort of like it crushed all the land going all the way into there. And it's got some more crushing to do. It's almost like the land shifted recently. Alright, so next we'll have to check out somewhere else. Yeah, so this will be the Atlantic Ocean of Mars. Let's check it out on Earth. Oh, I see. Pretty wild. Okay, so we'll ship it over a little bit to the edge. Yeah, this one looks nice. Okay, now you're seeing it for the opposite perspective. This giant landmass here would have been the Africa of Mars. You can see that even though this green area is still a bit lower, I'm pretty sure depending how much water was on the surface, this would probably still be land, just low land, right? So there you have the outline of Africa. Wow, that's pretty wild. So this region here, which has got a grid well, would have been here. But I think this area has recently been stretched. You can even see the stretch mark still on the basin. So you can see technically if Earth wasn't stretched recently and you took it and jammed these two continents together, wouldn't it look more like Mars then? Because like you can see how this part here on Mars is this part of South America, right? You can even see the shape of it. See the well is there, blue line. So really, you just take the Earth, squish it together, and you're going to get it looking way more like Mars. Like you could even squish it so that this point and this point would touch, right? Squish these two together, squish them, would end up looking like Mars does here. It's funny, because if I didn't know better, I would say this was the North Pole of Mars. And then this was the Alaska stretch to the Bering Sea of Asia. That's what it looks like there. It's kind of funny. I wonder if at one point in history this did used to be the North Pole. See, that would be the North Pole. This would be Alaska, Asia, North America. This would be the Ring of Fire. This would be Asia and Japan and all that. Yeah, let me show you what I'm talking about. I'll put it up here on the Earth so you can see it. Now, I was figuring I'd eventually see where the old pole was on Mars. I was thinking it was going to take me a while to find it. Ah, there you can see it. Alright. So where's the fucking cursor? Come on, you piece of garbage. Oh god, there it is. Right, so yeah, you can see here, this is how the continents used to be very similar. Or if you switch the pole of Mars so it was a different location. Wow, that's wild, eh? So you can see here, on Mars, you'd have the Alaska region, and then it would curve in a little bit and create the BC coast, or west coast of Canada. And then the landmass would go down along the side for like a huge coast. So it would go down along the side for a huge coast. Then we can see it coming across the other side where it's got another point. It's got the point here, point there. So then it comes down, wraps around. So then you would have like Japan and Asia and all this region. You'd be going down. Eventually you get to like the Philippines. Then eventually you get to, here, let's bring it. Yeah, so then you'd eventually get your coast, your islands. It's weird, the only thing they're missing is they don't have an Australia down here. There should be an Australia here, right? Oh, there's their Australia. It got pulled way down. So maybe that's where Mars had its shift. See what crust line shifts it has. Oh, it shows shift marks that way. Yeah, so isn't that trippy? Yeah, so if that was the Asia, then this would have been... Wow. Yeah, so that'd be like the V shape. India and Southeast Asia. And then instead of the other continent ending here, man, it really continued. So it must be that the Earth got stretched apart. Yeah, it did, huh? You can see all the stretch marks of where it used to connect. So this probably used to connect to there before it stretched, and that's when it used to look more like Mars. Yeah, so this deep chasm region on Mars would have been this deep chasm region on the Earth. It'd be funny if we have a big meteor crater there too. Yeah, so many planet similarities. It's neat to see them. I always dreamed one day of exploring Mars, and I figured those probes would be useless. We could learn more just from these fucking Google Earth images. How long can you look at pictures of fucking sand and rocks before you're like trying to figure out the gravity well fields and say fuck the sand and rocks? Right, so that would be the ring of fire on Mars compared to the ring of fire on Earth. Holy fuck, man. There it is. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see if maybe this is the old ring of fire on Mars. We'll see when they start getting the earthquake data. If I had to guess, the earthquakes are going to hit all along this region the hardest. This would be like the Rocky Mountains of Mars. Similar to the Rocky Mountains there. So that's just my guess. I could be wrong, but that's my guess for where earthquakes are going to be on Mars. Isn't it funny, eh? It almost does look like the Alaska, Bering Strait, the Asia continent, the North American continent. The big hole at the North Pole. See, we got a big hole at our North Pole too, right? I always thought our North Pole had land, but no, it just has a giant hole. The only thing I'm surprised that there's no giant hole here. Or I guess off to the side. Should be a giant hole here. Takes a while on Mars. Anywho, guess we'll wrap up the show. I gotta go make something to eat for breakfast because I'm starting to get hungry. Maybe I can make something good. Maybe. I don't know, if I had to go to any place on Mars, I'd probably explore this region, eh? It's got some neat history. Now, if I had to guess, there's quite a bit of earthquake activity around here. It would have been so neat if this Earth or volcano lined up directly with there. It was like, fuck, man. Damn, Mars. A few meters off. Yeah, I kind of wish this volcano was right here, too. It came damn close. Might need a nap at some point today, too. Yeah, wouldn't it be funny if I had the planet inverted? That was the problem. It's actually supposed to be this way. Now that looks a little bit more like it. And out there, that would be it. Yeah, I was thinking if you shift it one down, man, it looks more the same. There would be the top of North America. See, what was the difference before? Did I have it flipped upside down? Let me check for a second. I'm getting turned around here. Usually if I get turned around too badly, I'll just switch back to Earth so that I can line it up properly. There we go. That's better. Alright, so that is right. See, I was thinking it's kind of interesting that this point here and this point here, or is it that one? Let me check. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so that is this one. Or no. This is the Hudson Bay. This is the Great Lakes. This would be the Arctic. Yeah. There, that's right. So this would be the ocean with the equator. This would be the Hudson Bay or Gulf of Mexico. This one's the Great Lakes. This one's the Hudson Bay. And then this is the Arctic. Now it's interesting that the land didn't extend to here like it does on Earth, right? Which makes me wonder, Mars must have had a big shift across this way. They'll probably find stretch marks going that direction. So there is some differences between our planets. Why the planets stretch so much at the top on Mars is weird. Oh yeah, you can even see that lines up with that. So it's not that unusual. I wonder if Mars has the wobbling pole too, because it almost looks like you could see the pole pattern for its wobble. So it would have a North Pole here and a North Pole here, and it would switch back and forth, just like ours. We have a North Pole here, we have a North Pole here, and it switches back and forth. It's causing our ice age. On the South Pole it's here, switches back and forth. So where's the South Pole on Mars that it's always switching back and forth? Yeah, so maybe it's these two. I don't know, let's check the South Pole on Earth. Make sure we're lining up to the right spot. Alright, so on Earth, we have our two South Poles. Let's check if Mars has something similar. So it would have to have two South Poles there and there. Which is funny because it looks like they have two South Poles there and there. Interesting. Alright, so let's wrap this up. Time for me to go eat something to eat for breakfast. We'll check, see if we had anyone who joined the chat at all. I don't think so, but we'll check. Oh, we did. Moped Mom. So, Moped Mom, or Moped Mom, sorry. Moped. I'm working on showing how the global electrical circuit affects weather. I have circuits I'm looking at. Each pole on a planet will be different. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like when it tells you where the North Pole is on Mars, has it been different in the past? Is it changing? Because I know our pole changes location, so if other planets had poles that change locations too, where is Mars' current pole? Where did it used to be? Now I'm just going to show you what it is on Earth. I'm pretty sure it's mapping up accurately because I can show you. Where is it? The South Pole. There it is. And check when it switches to Mars. It'll be like a giant Arctic area. Yeah, see how it's an Arctic area? I'll turn off the thermal, or the, whatchamacallit, the height thing so you can see how it lines up. Fuck, where is that? Circles? No. Blue, yellow. It's so weird. It must be I have it in here somewhere. Yeah, there we go. I don't know which one was the one that was causing the, whatchamacallit, the depth layer to show. Yeah, so you can see that the pole on Mars and the pole on Earth, they do seem to match that like Arctic shape. So that's why I'm thinking they got it accurate. See how it's like there's our pole. But I'll double check, see if we can find any. Like, let's go to Mars' South Pole and see if it'll show you. Oh, wrong computer. No, that's not where I'm trying to look. Oh, here it is. Mars South Pole. I should just put pole. See what comes up. It says nothing. So I don't know why NASA doesn't have the poles mapped, or Google Earth. That's kind of fucking annoying. But anyways, let's check the pole on Earth and see if it matches. Ah, there we are. Which is funny, because ours doesn't really show much in the way of Arctic. Yep, see Mars has got a pole there too. So I'm pretty sure they got the Arctic poles mapped properly on Mars. I should check, what about the grid line? Maybe they have that. Let's try that. I'll turn off my yellow map and just put a regular one on. See if they got it. I didn't even check that. Yeah, see they've got the poles marked. So, if you take the original map, like the real poles, and then add my yellow line to it, we'll see if they line up or not. Oh yeah, that's lining up. It is slightly different scale though, right? Because Earth and Mars are different size. So it makes mine and then it just scales it to Mars. So it's a slightly smaller ratio. So technically these yellow lines, they map all of the equator points, or not the equators, the equinox and solstice lines. So I don't know if that's true and that it would actually map the solstice and equinox of Mars. That'd be pretty sweet. Yeah, so if anyone's wondering if my map and the Mars map do line up, thanks viewers. That was a good question. I was actually wondering how I could prove it too, so now I know. And it's weird too, their pole seems to be slightly offset, right? So maybe it is in the process of shifting. I'll have to check if Mars has a wobble too, or does it have like a straight and no wobble? Maybe their wobble ran out. Because I think the wobble only lasts once your pole splits in half. And then eventually it wears down to nothing. Anyway, so let's continue wrapping up. So thanks Mophead, Mophead. And you're also working on how the global electrical circuit affects the weather. Yeah, that is a good point. Well, let's get back to that just for a second. Hey, we got our first like. Thanks, everybody. We're styling. My Gravity Well shows usually don't get likes. Anyways. Let's go to just one Google Earth. And we'll show weather and electrical fields. I was wanting to talk about because, where is it? Let's put the weather on. Now there is a system of red lines that I also add onto the map, which basically just cuts everything in half again. And red lines often match the line clouds very accurately, which is funny because today it seems like it's the yellow lines. There really is too many red lines, that's why I don't really like to look at them. Alright, forget the red lines for today. I don't see any lining up with it very good at all. No, really it was just the yellow one today. No, so I think if you're looking into your theories about, let's get the wording right again. We're not getting enough data, so we'll have to get this wrapped up quick. Right, so if you're looking at how electrical circuit fields and the weather, I think these gravity well pattern fields will be incorporated in that at one point as well. So if you start looking into it earlier on, you might have a easier time putting the whole puzzle together. It's like another piece added, right? I don't think it's the whole thing. Obviously, there's more to the equation than that, but I do think it's a variable. One of the ones that are added to the equation. Yeah, so good luck. If you want to share your research in the chat, go right ahead and I'll check it out too. It's nice to talk about to other people that are exploring wild ideas. I know scientists usually don't have as much leeway to explore wild ideas without getting into trouble academically, so us amateurs are kind of lucky because we can just explore any theories we want. We don't really have to follow any mainstream approach or dogma, scientific method. Alright, see you guys later. Let's wrap this up. Yeah, it's kind of neat once you see the different gravity wells and how they interact with the clouds. I don't know if it's just the cloud that mapped more accurately on Google recently, but it seems like there is more clouds. So I don't know if they could be one or more clouds or something recently that they just started changing how they map them. Alright, so see you everyone. Thanks again for watching the show. Let's give a shout out to everyone in the chat. There was me, there was Mophead, and there was Mom. No, there's just the two of us so far. Now let's check out the Facebook chat. Did we get any questions here? No, we did not. And we didn't get any likes. Son of a whore. No, I'm just kidding. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Alright, so see you everyone. Let's wrap up the show before I say anything any more too offensive. Alright, so yeah, let's do my affiliate links in case anyone wants to check that shit out. Help out the show. Make sure you're above gambling age or whatever rules you have in your country of origin or where you live. Make sure you don't get into trouble for any of these. See, can I even put this on there? Yeah, it's working reasonably. Alright, we got 157,749. Let's give it a roll. Boom. We just got an extra 4 free Bitcoin or Satoshi that adds up to equal 1 Bitcoin if you got enough of them. And big shout out to the 82 people that have been referred already and are helping me out collect Bitcoin. Alright, let's check out another one of the Bitcoin faucets I like to use. This one's called BetFury. Right now you can collect 2,000 of this other cryptocurrency that they also offer. They have more than one offer. It's pretty sweet. Oh, they want buses. Here I was picking trains. They want the bus. That's a dump truck. Right, so I got a whole bunch of that BNB currency, Beyonce. Let's collect a little bit of the Satoshi. Right now they have very small amounts of Satoshi. It might increase, it might go down again, I don't even know. Hopefully it can't go any lower because it's going to be at 0. Alright, so we collected that. And big shout out to my referrals that are helping with that. Make sure you start collecting this free boxes whenever you can. And we've got 19 people helping with that, so thanks everyone. If you want to add this Bitcoin wallet to your referral list for your shows, it also tracks your users and how much they're winning you and stuff, so you can do contests for your referrals. It's a pretty wild system. Oh yeah, and you can also win shares of the casino. So right now I own 200 shares, or 210, and that's how much cryptocurrency it earns me. And we'll just give a lookout of all the different cryptocurrencies this site can win you, and how much interest they're gaining right now. Right, so the top one is Bitcoin. I know you can't see it on that screen. It's fucked right now. The next one is Ethereum. The next one is Beyonce, then Tether, then Tron, and lastly BitTorrent. And they seem to be rebounding after yesterday's little dip there. So If anyone wants to help out with my cryptocurrency wallet referrals, I really appreciate it. Alright, so let's wrap up and I'll check out the rest of my affiliate links. And if any other viewers have questions, just make sure to put them in the chat or join me to the next show and I'll try to answer them. Right, so, well, yeah, we also have a list of patrons. Don't want to forget those. Alright, so the list of patrons, here it is. So far we got Jim, Ray, Travis, and Suki. So thanks Jim, Ray, Travis, and Suki for helping out with the whole Patreon situation. Really appreciate it, and let's show them. Almost forgot to switch screens. Yeah, so they are there. Jim, Ray, Travis, and Suki. Thanks everyone. I'm also doing a patron song by Jimmy Ray Travis called Suki. And if you want your names to be in the lyrics, then just sign up to the Patreon. Or you can pick a different name that you want added. You don't have to have your real name added if you don't want. I think Suki is also using her nickname. Alright, so let's see. I think that's everything. Oh yeah, finish up the rest of my affiliate links. We got Society 6 merchandise. My saying finishing quick is my specialty. Comes on t-shirts and bed sheets, very popular with the ladies. Hideout TV will pay you to watch videos. Swagbucks will pay you to shop online. GameKit will pay you to try new video games. Free-to-play games that they hope you'll deposit. They try to get you hooked. And free Bitcoin is free Bitcoin wallets I just showed you. The Virtual Maid Sex Machine, it's for adults and men only. But if ladies need a sex machine, they know who to call. If we ever get our human rights back. Anyway, so yeah, let's see. Yeah, I think that's everything for today's show. So just make sure to like and share the videos if you can. Really appreciate it. And bye for now. See you later. Later, everyone.